The Metal Gear series has always delivered complex plots, with unexpected twists and revelations altering your perception of people and events you thought you understood. Though Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain continues this tradition, the majority of its plot focuses on the events at hand. Fans of the series will find their diligence rewarded in ways that newcomers can't begin to imagine, but such loyalty and knowledge isn't a prerequisite. As Big Boss, the leader of a private military group, the Diamond Dogs, you go behind enemy lines to carry out recon and assassination contracts, as well as infiltrate the hideouts of your personal enemies. The Phantom Pain's plot mixes historical events from the 1980s with a pinch of James Bond villainy and an exciting dollop of sci-fi dressing. Your mission is twofold: build a military force free from the whims of narrow-minded world powers, and destroy those who wish to take advantage of fractured global politics for their own selfish ideals. There are numerous subplots within, and during your long and extensive journey, you face topics rarely seen in gaming: torture, child soldiers, and the human cost of nuclear proliferation. The Phantom Pain depicts these issues with unveiled brutality, reminding you that any order we know today came at the cost of somebody else's freedom and happiness. The prologue, Metal Gear Solid 5: Ground Zeroes, gave us a taste of the series' new open-world mechanics, which feel as excellent now as they did in that game. But the freedom of choice in Ground Zeroes pales in comparison to the possibilities that await you in the Phantom Pain. You don't always have to sneak, and in some cases, you must attack head-on. Both types of scenarios instill a nerve-wracking sense of tension that either gives way to crushing defeat or a resounding sense of victory. Success isn't just measured by getting from point A to point B or by defeating a notorious bad guy. Remember, you're trying to build a private army. While convincing enemy troops to join your ranks would require expert coercion in the real world, in the Phantom Pain, you simply attach a balloon to your friend's waist and they float into the arms of an awaiting chopper. Of course, dead soldiers aren't good to anybody, so you're motivated to tread carefully and quietly to incapacitate your enemies without raising alarm in order to capture your prey alive. All of your hard work capturing soldiers, in addition to resources, wildlife, and vehicles, pays off back at Mother Base, your offshore sanctum. Here, soldiers you've captured can be assigned to different research fields. Once your team hits certain levels, and you possess the right amount of materials that you source from the field, you then earn the right to develop new equipment. There are dozens of items and pieces of equipment to unlock, and you may spend upwards of 100 hours searching for top-notch recruits and gathering resources while infiltrating enemy bases if you hope to unlock everything in the game. While visiting Mother Base, staring out over the ocean gives you a moment of solace from the horrible events that surround you on the battlefield. And you get a similar feeling when riding into battle, seated on the edge of a chopper, reflecting on the meaning behind the madness at hand. The open world is replete with small military outposts, massive compounds, and threats from nature, all opportunities for action and reward. An outpost may contain a vehicle worth stealing, or a soldier that will provide useful information if you can quietly detain and interrogate him. Unlike previous Metal Gear games, many of which placed players in enclosed spaces, a threat can come from miles away and appear next to you when you least expect it. Nothing is confined, and no place is safe. You eventually earn the right to call in a transport, be it a horse, a truck, or even a small robotic walker, which is as charming and expressive as R2-D2 from Star Wars. If you play your cards right, you can also take a dog into battle that will sniff out and distract enemies. The new open world and the buddy system add layers of depth that ultimately set the Phantom Pain apart from other games in the series. The story's final strokes cast deep, dark shadows over the world. For anyone just joining the tale of Big Boss with the Phantom Pain, the conclusion of these events will leave you with plenty to think about. Everything is questionable, and nothing is as it seems. For fans of the series, the ultimate payoff is one that answers questions, but also one that raises unforeseen implications. Unfortunately, in the lead up to the finale, you have to spend an hour or two replaying older missions on a higher difficulty setting just to unlock the final story missions. This is the only aspect of the Phantom Pain that feels off. Ultimately, the game delivers an impactful finale befitting the journey that preceded it. It punches you in the gut and tears your heart open. The high-caliber cutscenes filled with breathtaking shots and rousing speeches tease you along the way. The story is dished out in morsels, so you'll have to work for the full meal, but it's hard to call it work when controlling Big Boss feels so good with so many possibilities at your fingertips. There has never been a Metal Gear game with such depth to its gameplay or so much volume in content. When it comes to storytelling, there has never been a game in the series that's so consistent in tone, daring in subject matter, and so captivating in its presentation. The Phantom Pain may be a contender for one of the best action games ever made. It is undoubtedly the best Metal Gear game there is. For more details on what you can find in the Phantom Pain and how I feel about them, check out the full written review on GameSpot.com.
It'd be a shame to waste him, but I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Deshago Calais and eliminate the target. Roger that. We'll pick him up.